Hey guys, it's Chris from Ballistics Report, and I just shot my second USPSA match. I'm creating these videos because I want to document my journey and just share what I learn as I'm learning them. And if that sounds interesting, be sure to like and subscribe. And real quick, right now we're giving a free Mantis X in the shooting challenge giveaway, so stay tuned to the end of the video to find out more. All right, let's get into the first stage, which is called Cupid's Arrow. This match was shot near Valentine's Day, so it kind of has all these Valentine's Day names. For this one specifically, each target has to be hit 3 times, which is a little different, so let's run with it.
Okay, are you ready? Stand by.
Reload. All right, got a little first stage jitters there. Let's run down the numbers real quick. We've got 29 alphas, 3 charlies, which is really good for me. Time is 32.5 seconds. This match, I really wanted to focus more on speed because I think my hits were pretty good on my first match. So a little hiccup here, kind of shooting a little bit past that second target. That little overstep, I don't know. At least I didn't DQ, and I don't know. That could have been a lot worse. Overall, I was pretty happy with this stage. I did feel like I was moving pretty quick, so when I actually had to run in between shooting positions, I felt like I was moving pretty quick. The reloads were fast, so in general, I felt like in my mind, my speed was fast. We'll kind of get into that a little bit later. Okay, second stage is called Wicked Game. One thing to note on this one is that on the last 2 targets, whichever last 2 targets you shoot, you have to shoot those 3 times each. And let's get into it. All right, so I remembered the protocol of shooting the last 2 targets 3 times. Kind of shot that one 4 times, but I felt like I kind of chucked one, so I made up shot. But let's go over the numbers on this real quick. It's 23 alphas, 7 charlies, 2 deltas. Time is 37.95 seconds. One of the cool things that I learned about this stage was that it's really important to stick to your stage plan. We didn't have any type of order on how to shoot this, so some people were kind of starting further back and shooting the targets on the left array, then moving into the middle, shooting all those middle ones under that little box thing, and then coming out for the third one. There's all sorts of ways. I made a plan, and I basically stuck with it, and there were some people who didn't, and they were kind of like getting a little flustered. They forgot maybe to shoot the last 2 targets 3 times, but I followed my stage plan so much so that right here, after shooting this array, after shooting these, I just went ahead and reloaded because that was part of my stage plan. I don't even think I needed to, but I went ahead and did that anyways. So I was pretty happy with my stage plan and sticking with it. Okay, the next one is called Psycho Killer, and things are starting to get a little crazy here. What's funny about this is that the match was, I think, advertised as level 1, but people there were telling me that this probably is somewhere between a level 1 and a level 2 USPSA match, and you'll see why here. Let's get into it.
Stand by.
All right, so this is my first encounter on moving targets, swingers. Obviously, well, let's get into the numbers real quick. Okay, so 17 alphas, 8 charlies, 1 delta, 4 mics. Time is 42.69 seconds. I wonder where 2 of those mics went. Yeah, I did not shoot that swinger. When we got there, they were able to actually show us how it moves, so you can kind of figure it out. I don't know. Some people were giving me different advice on how to shoot it. I was just kind of like, I'm just going to try to shoot it as fast as I can, not really worry about it, and that way I can kind of just save up time, which was kind of my goal. So I would just shoot, take the misses, and then move on, which is exactly what I did, because I barely even aimed at it, honestly, but that's fine. So that's where 2 of those mics went. One of the things, obviously, that I need to learn from this stage is how to shoot moving targets. So that's something I'm going to have to research. And the other thing that I learned too was, if I go back here, let's see. I completely missed that top target on this right here. I was aiming for the A zone, the chest A zone on the top target. And what happened was I basically shot too low. I didn't hit the no shoot. I hit the bottom target. And so those two hits didn't count. And so one of the things that I was kind of realizing with, which I don't even know why I never even thought about, but with different types of targets, like where exactly should I be aiming? Obviously, the bottom target here, I know where to aim. It's just like a regular USPSA target. And the top one, it's like, well, almost 90% of the A zone is gone. It's covered. So where do I aim? So after this match, I went ahead and went on YouTube, kind of did some research, and I found this great video from Tactical Hive. Essentially, what he's saying is that as a lower class shooter, what you can do is you just look at the rest of what you see as brown and just shoot at the center of that. So now that I know that, I'll probably start incorporating that instead of trying to shoot these little tiny like A zones that are like mostly covered. I'm just look at the rest of the acceptable shooting area and then just find the center and shoot for that. So now I know kind of where to aim. Sounds silly, but all right. The next stage is you spin me round. Let's get into it.
Stand by.
Ooh, smooth. Ooh, look at that steel. Nice. Okay, cool. Let's get into the numbers on this one. 22 alphas, 7 charlies, 3 mics, which 2 of them are that moving target, which is fine. I think the other mic was probably maybe that first target with the tuxedo. Time was 34.31 seconds. Right before I went on this stage, I had one of my friends give me a cool tip on shooting the steel. When he was stage planning, he was like, I'm going to go ahead and reload right before I shoot this array of steel so he can slow down. And that's exactly what I did, and it actually paid off like a lot. I was able to slow down, take my time, and man, I hit these steels pretty good. Which is funny because you can contrast those 4 steels with these last 2 and where I'm not slowing down and I just go for it. So you can kind of see the difference there. So that was a cool tip that I got. The other thing that really kind of stood out for me on this stage, like after like looking back at it now, was I remember when I shot this stage, I was going really smooth, really fast. And I just remember thinking like, man, this is going to be my best time. Like I went like so fast. I was really smooth. And what I did was I started comparing myself to not like the super like ultra master or GMs that we're shooting, but I kind of wanted to go a little bit further down and just compare myself to one of the higher like B class shooters. And I'll kind of explain like why I wanted to do that. If I'm comparing myself, like my time and my hits to the GMs and the master classes, the disparity is going to there's going to be a huge disparity there no matter what, because they're just like in the stratosphere. They're way too good. But if I'm comparing myself to somebody who's like in a B class, any disparity in time or on hits and points, it should be like a glaring, like shouting at me like, hey, like this is the thing that you need to work on, because they're only like a few levels like ahead of you, instead of, you know, comparing to a GM where it's like, obviously their time is going to be like super low. And so comparing my time with one of the B class shooters that was there at the match, my time was 34 point seconds. Their time was 28 point seconds. So 6-second difference. And I'm like, okay, like, you know, maybe there's some minor little things that I can adjust. But looking at the other stages, you'll see these crazy differences. 10 seconds, 20 seconds, another 10 second, like 20 seconds, which 20-second differences are starting to kind of give me a little hint about maybe where some of the issues are. And like I said, my goal at this this match was speed. So it was kind of giving me a little inkling of maybe where the diagnosis of the issues are. But we'll move on to the next stage, and then we'll kind of talk about that at the end. All right, this one is called Died in Your Arms, and let's check it out. Let's reload. Okay, let's see here. Let's go over the numbers real quick. We've got 15 alphas, 11 charlies, 3 deltas, 2 mics. The time is 41.62 seconds. So the main thing that I learned from this stage is that USPSA shooting is sometimes a game of endurance. By this time, it was like, you know, it had been probably like 6 hours or something like that into the match. And I was really starting to fatigue. I was getting tired. It was hot out, and I wasn't practicing my stage plan. Like I wasn't walking through the stage as deliberately as I was on the previous stages. This one, I was like, if you notice, like I'm kind of killing it here on these first 3 shooting positions, and then when I get over here, I start to really kind of just break down. Like I'm shooting here. I don't even shoot all of the targets. I move up, and then I had to re-engage those targets again after these steal. And so I was kind of like in a bad shooting position, and I practiced, like I walked through like the first half of this stage, and then the last half I was like, yeah, I got it. Pretty much because I was just like tired and didn't really want to deal with it, and it shows. So I really need to make sure that I keep my head in the game, even on these later stages. It's a game of endurance. There's a lot of fatigue going on, and so I just need to make sure that my mind is on. I'm walking the stages as deliberately every single time. Okay, so to wrap up, what do I need to focus on for my next match? Okay, let's talk about time. To help me with the next couple of matches, I went ahead and got these. I've got the mag extensions for my Glock 47 magazines, and it'll help me in several ways, actually. It's probably one less reload, and then it also helps me to kind of mimic more of the higher class shooters, because everybody is basically shooting this amount of ammo. Whenever they reload, that's when I know that I can reload. So it'll help me kind of mimic them a little bit closer so that I can hopefully get, you know, a closer time to them. So that's cool. I'm excited about that. Continuing on the aspect of time, like I said earlier, I look back and saw all of my previous times. I tried to compare them to one of the higher level B shooters, and the differences were kind of crazy. Like they were like 20, sometimes they were like 20 seconds. Most of the time they were 10 seconds. I knew that I was moving fast, like in between shooting. And so to me, the diagnosis is that I'm taking too much time shooting. And so what does that mean? Well, it could be the time in between shots, which I know that I'm shooting a little bit more at a slower cadence. It's kind of like pop, pop, pop. So I know I can reduce those, but I think the majority of the time that is being spent is getting that first sight picture. It's moving and getting that first sight picture. I know I usually take a lot of time to acquire that first index, that first sight picture. So that's the thing that I need to work on. It's those two things. I know that I'm spending a lot of time there compared to these, just the B-level shooters, not even like the master and grandmasters. So that's the thing that I need to work on. So there's a couple things that I got to help me shoot faster. And the first one is the Cool Fire Trainer. You get a special barrel that you replace and you fill it up with CO2, and then you can practice with kind of not quite real, but pretty close recoil. And this is cool because it can help me practice dry firing, reacquiring that sight after shooting. So that's cool. And to help me keep accountable, I have the Shooter's Global Timer, which this thing is pretty sick. And one of the things that I like about it too is that you can dial down the sensitivity for dry fire. So this in combination, I am setting up drills and where I have 3 targets, I'll start on the buzzer and I will engage each of those targets twice. And then I can see what my splits are and also what my transition times as well as my draw times are, and trying to speed those up and get those down. So that's currently what I'm working on right now to get faster at shooting, which is the thing that I know I need to work on. And we'll see how that goes on the next match. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Wait, before you go, right now we are giving away a free Mantis TitanX in the Shooting Challenge giveaway. Super easy. All you have to do is go to the range, measure your shot groups using the Ballistics Report app, and submit them to the challenge. Every qualifying shot group is an entry to win, and the more you shoot, the more entries you can win. And we're doing a giveaway every single month, so every single month is a chance to turn your next range day into gear, prizes, and more. Check out the link in the description to get started.